Happy Venus Day, everybody. Welcome to this week's Love Energy Tarot card reading for Friday, September 30th. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. Super happy to have everyone here. So let's go ahead and get into this reading. So as always, we have two segments for this love reading. First segment is for those of you who are married or in serious relationships. And for those of you who are single and looking for love, you are in segment 2. We're doing pick a card readings for each segment, so you'll have a little bit more customization than normal. And for those of you who are members and subscribers on my website, please don't forget to log in so that you can view the extended readings for each zodiac sign. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, everybody, this segment is for those of you who are married or in serious relationships. So as always, we have 3 piles. This week I'm using Amethyst, Smokey Quartz, and Rose Quartz. So again, not everyone always feels intuitively drawn, and that's fine. If you do, now would be a good time to maybe pause the video and kind of feel your way toward a pile. And if you don't, also that's fine. You can randomly select a pile. There's likely to be a message in there for you somewhere. So timestamps for everything will be found in the description box in the comment thread down below. All right, see you in just a sec. All right, pile number 1, you guys selected the Amethyst. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what comes through for you. Okay, I feel like that one wants to come out. Okay. All right, sorry, it took me a minute to shuffle those, and I'm kind of feeling my way through these. Because I'm looking at that 6 of Cups reversed, and what I'm really feeling with that is like a realness with everything. Now, Venus, as of today, is officially moved in, or as of yesterday rather, has moved into Libra. So she's in her ruling sign right now. And Libra can have some sobering effects sometimes. It can be a nice sign. It's nice to come into a place of balance and to make adjustments where needed. But, you know, there is a lot of reality with Libra energy. And, you know, Venus, when she's here, does not want to be operating in anything other than the truth. And so I feel like there is a letting go of the past, because in a way that no longer truly represents what is true anymore. It may have been true and had meaning and had influence in your life, but now I think there's this acceptance that maybe the perspective that you or your partner had around something is just simply no longer worth hanging on to, okay? So you're kind of creating a new real or a new truth, if you will, if that makes any sense at all. And it's going to be a truth that feels better with that 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is very much about wishes coming true. And in a partnership, obviously, it's really important for each other to be on board with that and to have, to some degree, some shared hopes and wishes. Now, you can have your own, your partner can have their own, but you also need to come together and have some kind of a place you want to go, right? A place you want to get to together, and to know how you want to support one another in that venture. Because with the Death coming out, with the 6 of Cups reversed, it's just like there's this elimination process between the two of you. You're eliminating unhelpful feelings or unhelpful tension. You're eliminating things that just simply made things more complicated. I'm seeing a desire for greater levels of simplicity and a desire for things to be more streamlined with that 8 of Wands. You're both looking for greater levels of prosperity and abundance. You're looking to take your relationship to greater places, whether that is with some kind of an external ambition that you have together, or if that's some kind of within the connection. Maybe you've lost the connection. I mean, earlier this year was kind of weird. And I know some couples had a very hard time recovering from that, right? Because that was Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. It was not a friendly transit for a lot of relationships. But for those of you who weathered the storm and bonded together, or banded together rather, and decided to work through it, likely now is a time where you actually can heal and reunify, as I'm seeing with the Lovers reverse, because it seems to me that there is something that you need to reunify from, right? Because something came in, some kind of a wedge was placed in between you. That could have been an emotional wedge, or it could have been, well, this person wants that thing and you want this other thing, and it's very hard to reconcile these two desires because maybe they're incompatible. And so now I feel that that is possible for you. It's possible to attain a union or an integration at minimum of two seemingly different things. And maybe either you or your partner no longer wants that thing anymore. It's amazing how we can have so much conviction at one point only to lose it at a later date, right? And so that may be the case for some of you. But either way, you're certainly looking forward with that Three of Wands. But, there does seem to be a need to practice some degree of patience. There does seem to be... Now, I like the Eight of Wands because it does indicate swift motion. Things can happen quickly, but I don't know that the end goal is going to happen quickly. It's like the steps to get you there can kind of come in and out swiftly, but it's kind of like this weird fast but slow type of thing, or slow but fast. The good news is Nine of Cups and Three of Wands both signify really positive things, right? They signify getting what you want. They signify coming together and being happy. Happy with what you get, happy with where you're going, happy with what you have. It's likely that the two of you have had, maybe you've been forced to a degree to come into much deeper layers of acceptance of each other. We as human beings are always changing, evolving. And in a marriage, there are moments, there are times, there are periods when you need to get to know one another again. I feel like maybe this is that time where you decide to get to know one another again, because clearly the love hasn't gone anywhere. The Lovers is still here. The love hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. There's still a degree of mutual respect. There's still a degree of, wanting this to be your person and all of that, So coming together and getting to know one another more deeply and coming into greater levels of appreciation for each other's journey can absolutely transform this connection for the better. And it will be for the better. Death only is negative for those who, like in a relationship, for those who weren't really following their guts, for those who were not heeding warnings that their body and their guides and their soul was kind of like, like the big warning lights. They were not heeding warnings. Death can be very destructive. But if you are conscious about it and you do it together, it can be transformative. So it can go either way. I think for many of you, it will be transformative. It will be more toward the positive. And chances are you're going to be swiftly moving in a new direction that you're going to be really excited about. You'll be excited about it. Your partner will be excited about it. I don't really see that much communication. Mercury, he is in retrograde. He is starting to slow down. Okay, he's going to be going direct on October 2nd. And that is happening in opposition with Neptune over in Pisces. Of course, this is a very strange relationship. Mercury and Neptune are basically opposites in a lot of ways. Mercury being highly scientific, and logical and rational, where Neptune can be more dreamy and fantastical. So there's a strange little union there, but I like Mercury going direct, because while you can still have a dream and you can have a fantasy of where you want to go, Mercury will offer logic as to how to get there together. And especially when Mercury moves into Libra, which will be next week on the 10th, which we'll talk more about it with next week's love reading. Well, when it does move into Libra, there will be more like high quality exchange between the two of you in terms of communication. Okay. All right. Let's pull out an oracle card for you. Just breathe. Yeah. This is, I think, a week to just sort of take it easy. I don't know that you have to really do anything or be aware or alert of anything truly specific. It's just recognizing the phase that you're in as a couple. So this is not the sex magic deck. I got kind of tired of that deck, so I wanted to, this is called a vintage journey of the divine connection, which I think I got on Etsy. So this says, don't take it personally when someone turns their attention elsewhere. Okay, that's kind of an interesting card to get. Now, I don't know that you're going to be abandoned or anything, but maybe that's been a part of what has been happening, is just you've been going in different directions. And it didn't really have anything to do with you, and maybe you turned your attention away and it didn't have anything to do with them. But now this is a time to come back together, though, being in Libra season. So this wasn't this phase that you're coming out of. It wasn't a personal attack on you or anything, but it was just what was needed for you each to grow individually. And Libra season and Scorpio season especially are great times for couples to reconvene. It's like coming back together to the drawing board to sort of brief each other on what you've gone through. It's like when the sun travels Aries through Virgo, it's very much a personalized experience. Libra and Scorpio, we come together. Okay. All right, pile one. Thank you all so much. I love and adore you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you guys selected the Smokey Quartz. So let's go ahead and see what comes through for you. Okay, clearly these are wanting to come out. Okay. Well, I like the coming together of the Two of Cups. That's always a really, really good card to get. Indicates good communication and receptivity. But it is bringing out communication. I feel that there is some kind of an exchange that is needing to happen within this relationship. Either you need to tell them something or they need to tell you something. And I feel like whoever relates the most to the Page of Wands or the Knight of Cups, whoever that is probably going to be the one that reaches out first. I'm feeling that there is a little bit of stubbornness. He's kind of looking in this direction here, not really looking toward the Two of Cups. So again, maybe you are dealing with someone who is a little bit more on the stubborn side right now, and they're not being entirely open-hearted or entirely understanding, maybe even a little arrogant, but I don't think they are arrogant. It's just they're being that way right now. But the Two of Cups is a good sign of resolution, so I don't know that it's going to be anything huge, but with the Strength card coming out, maybe there is something on the line, or maybe you have something you want to do, or whatever. Actually, maybe this is also true. Maybe the Page of Wands has a new adventure in mind, or something that they want to do, and they are having to talk to their partner about it, and the partner is ignorant of what's going on, right? So it may not be a stubbornness so much as they just simply don't know, and they're just going about doing their day living life like normal, not realizing that this other person is wanting something new. So again, if you're the one that is wanting something new, you are going to have to be the one to approach and sit down and have the talk. And it may be an act of courageousness because, maybe it does mean that you're wanting to change something up in your life. And it doesn't mean that you want to change the relationship. It just means, hey, maybe I want to get a new job, or I kind of want to buy a new car, or I want this, I want to go here, I want to do this thing, I want to travel, I want to visit my folks, I want to do X, Y, or Z. And maybe there is a little bit of fear or concern about how the other person will react. Although I'm looking at a King of Coins, I don't really know how, I don't see that it will be bad. Okay, the King of Coins can be really generous. But with the Fool reverse, it may take a little bit of convincing. Now, you may relate either way, right? So it really could go either way. Maybe what's being presented here with the Two of Cups is going to require the King of Coins to get uncomfortable, and they may need a lot of time to adjust to this new notion. I feel like one person is a lot more ready to go than the other person. And so the readiness, the incompatibility of where you're at with this, it has the potential to create an issue, but it doesn't have to. It's just acknowledging where each other is at. This person just needs to say, hey, I'm just having a hard time really coming to terms with this new idea. You kind of sprung it on me, or it's just kind of, kind of new to me. I wasn't expecting it, and I don't feel ready to just completely jump off this cliff here and just jump right into something. In fact, actually, I like that. I think that's good. This person seems to be pacing the other person, meaning they're being a little bit more cautious, which is preventing this other energy from just inviting chaos into their life. But I think a balance of both is good. This is good because it gets them uncomfortable, but this is good because it keeps you stable. So, I'm seeing a beautiful connection. This is what Libra season is all about right here. And even with the Smokey Quartz being a highly grounding stone, this is not something that needs to be shunned or snubbed at in any way, shape, or form, right? This is not a bad thing. In fact, the two of these energies coming together will likely ensure high quality progress with whatever this new thing is that's on the table now. And if there are needs, that maybe this isn't like an external venture, maybe this is a need that is needing to be met. So if someone is like, trying to express to themselves like, hey, I have a need, you're not meeting it, it's not being met within the relationship, what can we do about it? Again, I feel this person is ignorant of that fact. So we can't blame the King of Coins for not knowing until this conversation is really laid out on the table. Now, if this is a conversation that has been had before, then yes, maybe this is arrogance and an unwillingness to bend and an unwillingness to open his heart. But chances are, those of you who are in healthy relationships, that's not really the case. But whatever happens, I think the Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, whoever this is, they're going to feel really glad that they brought it to the table. They're going to feel happy that they put it out there and they didn't hold back and they weren't afraid, because the only thing that can really happen is that changes are implemented, or you have enough information now to make your own decisions, So probably a simple week. I don't know if this is going to be a highly eventful week for you, but if there is something that you need to communicate, please do. And if you feel that your partner is wanting to say something and they're not, you can also open the door for them in that way too. Being sensitive to the energy of the other person. I think when you're married, like, you can tell when they have something to say or when they're not saying something, right? challenging times. Okay, well, I don't see that in the tarot cards, but the Strength card did come out. So whenever Strength comes out, it always signifies a need to be strong. So maybe the conversation is hard. Maybe expressing and being vulnerable like that is challenging. But again, there's always a payout with the challenging times. And I feel that that will be the case for you. Kind of feel like this one on top. The right person will fight for you. This is probably going to be more for those of you who are in just relationships and not married, although this could be for married as well. Obviously, this is the point of the reading. Maybe some of you are saying, well, if this person can't meet my needs, or they can't meet me halfway, or if I feel like they're not really listening, there may be some questioning as to whether or not this is the right person. And because we are building up over the next month, we are building up to this new moon eclipse in Scorpio. Libra and Scorpio both are just really prominent relationship signs. Libra is where the commitment is made, and Scorpio has a lot to do with the bond and the intimacy and the energetic union that we share with our intimate partners. And with the new moon, there may be a desire to explore something new. And some of you may be really questioning, well, is my partner going to be the one that I can explore this with? Is my partner going to be the one that will meet me halfway and help encourage me and whatnot? So for those of you who are questioning your relationship, there could be some determining factors that come out. How they respond to the conversation will tell you a lot about whether or not this relationship can sustain. Okay? All right, pile number 2. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I love and adore you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 3. You guys selected the rose quartz. So let's go ahead and see what comes through. Yeah, there's something with this Mercury retrograde. It's like people are not going to be able to hold back. They're not going to be able to keep secrets. They're not going to be able to not say what they may have not been saying for quite a while. But it's good, I think, that people are getting stuff off of their chest. Because once people have all the information, this is big Libra energy right here, having all the information, because when you have all the information, you can make better decisions. And I see this guy kind of weighing options, right? It's like, well, if you expose, as we see with the High Priestess reverse, if you expose something and you bring it into a connection or a relationship, then it needs to be addressed. And I don't necessarily know that that's going to be a bad thing, but I do think something is bubbling up to the surface. And while I don't know that you will have full resolution this week, it is the beginning of coming into resolution. Probably resolution will fully hit with eclipse season starting at the end of October. So you can get it out there now, whatever it is that needs to be said. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be these really deep, dark secrets. It's not like super shady stuff or anything. It's just, maybe there's an unhealed part of you and now it's kind of coming up and it's making itself known, and you have different needs now, or you're needing something different from your partner. You're needing different kind of intimacy, different kind of communication, right? The only way to deal with this is to be really direct. It's like you have to say the words. You have to put it out there in a way that is useful. This is not a time to expect people to read your mind, because this is not like a super psychic astrological environment. All right. Neptune, as much as we would like to think that there are lots of psychic and telepathic types of things, I mean, maybe with the right person, but more than anything, I think Neptune adds to the confusion, right? He adds to the delusion, or adds to the like expecting someone to just know what I'm thinking type of thing. Okay. So to avoid that, we have to say exactly what needs to be said. Hopefully you can, hopefully your partners can, and you can come to some kind of a decision, but this has to be rooted in your absolute highest level of self-worth, your highest level of self-esteem, feeling truly deserving, feeling truly worthy of having your needs met. Again, this is both you and your partner both. It's going to be really important to come from that place and not be so worried and so concerned about the outcome, because chances are you and your partner both will level up. But you're going to have to reset your compass, is what I'm hearing. It's like you have to get your compass out and readjust and make sure you're still on course. You know, because I have a feeling that people have been operating in a certain manner for so long that it became habitual, but it has not adjusted properly for the person that you've both become. And you have to acknowledge that you are different people than who you were even at the beginning of this year. You know, and maybe there are new desires that have surfaced. Maybe there are new dreams that have come online for you as an individual. So this is a chance for you to reconvene and to, I don't know, it's like finding out if what you want and what they want truly are in line, and if you are truly on track. Do you still want the same things? Are you truly satisfied with the relationship? Because with the Seven of Coins, I feel that there is a level of discontentment. And I think it's important too to offer each other respect, as is normal in a relationship, right? You should have a partner that you respect and they respect you, at least most of the time. We're all human though, but at least most of the time. And so when something is not satisfying to one person, it should be the other person that says, okay, well then what does need to be done? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything that you need to do on your own? And to not get defensive and judgmental and critical and start blaming each other for whatever it is, right? It's more about finding a solution together and not villainizing or demonizing the other person for having a need that is out of the existing scope. So I'm feeling a little bit of a struggle moving forward, but it's not bad in any way, shape, or form. It's just realigning yourself. It's like realizing that maybe you were headed north for a really long time and maybe you just veered off a degree or two. But if you go a degree or two off for a long period of time, you can be very far away from your desired destination. So to stop here and to readjust and make sure you're still moving in that same direction and that you are not lost and you're not veering off course will be really, really helpful later on, especially as we approach eclipse season. Okay? So let's go ahead and pull out a couple of cards. Okay, we've got Seek. I like that with the High Priestess and the Star, because it does tell me that each of you are ready to receive, answers. You're seeking for deeper levels of truth for the sake of the health of the relationship. You're seeking solutions together. You're seeking, one thing that I think some people, I'm not going to say most people, but I know some people, maybe even a lot of people, maybe I'll even say that, they have a hard time with the conversion of feeling a feeling and being able to communicate that feeling in a way that is effective and understandable. Because that feeling, maybe it's like you don't want to just talk about the feeling, you want to talk about why you feel that way. And sometimes it takes a while to really understand what's really going on. It's like if you're feeling a little bit of jealousy, what's the real root of that jealousy? If you're feeling a little bit of insecurity, what's the root of that? And what did that other person do to trigger this way, way, way back wound, right? From way back that's now surfacing. And sometimes that delay between feeling the feeling and understanding the root of it and then being able to convey it, that delay between all that stuff can be very frustrating for other people. If you are that person or if your partner is that person, I do think patience is important so that the other or each of you or whoever can truly process in a way that is uninterrupted and it doesn't feel the pressure of giving an answer right away. Because if there's pressure, it may not be accurately identified and therefore misconstrued and not communicated properly, and then that need will still go unmet. So if one of you needs to process, everyone needs to allow that process to occur. Okay, but also communicating, hey, I need to process. I need to figure out why I'm really feeling the way I'm feeling. You know, I need time, I need space, that kind of thing. Find an online community of supporters. Okay, I don't know. I'm trying to find a good love deck online. I'm not super happy with a lot of the love decks that are out there. If you guys know of any, please let me know. I don't really know if this one is super appropriate. I don't think you should be talking about your relationship in an online community, but if there's something that's been brewing, right? Like if you had someone important to you pass away before, and maybe that's what's coming up, then maybe a grief counselor would be good. Or maybe not an online community of supporters for the problems that you're dealing with, but for the traumas that you've experienced. Maybe that's a little bit better way of looking at this, okay? All right. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. Pile number 3. You guys know I love and adore you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. This segment is for those of you who are single and looking for love, and also for those of you who are in situationships. So we have 3 piles. We're using our big chunks today. We have rose quartz for pile 1, smoky quartz for pile 2, and amethyst for pile number 3. So timestamps for each will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below, and I'll see you in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the rose quartz, so let's go ahead and see what comes through for you now. I'm kind of feeling like you're just really not available right now. Now, this is a fluctuation, right? Obviously, we're all fluctuating all the time. This week, I just don't know that you really want to hear it from people. You're just kind of like, you know what? I don't want to put effort into this aspect of my life. And I think that's fine. That will change. You know, Libra season can be a little, it's a very black and white season. It's either this way or it's that way. And we have a lot of personal adjustment that occurs within Libra season. So it may be that you are intuitively feeling that something needs to come into alignment within yourself first. Because it's like you don't want to manifest a relationship from a place of distress. You don't want to manifest from a place of frustration or from a place of deep, unruly emotion. You know, you're wanting to stabilize first And I think that's a good strategy. I think that's probably a lot better than manifesting out of desperation. Because when you manifest out of desperation, you can just really attract some unhealthy stuff, you know? The Nine of Wands, I feel like you're being really protective of yourself right now. You are maybe doing a few more things behind closed doors, you know, just kind of keeping your private life very private. You're not sharing everything with everybody because it seems like you're needing to sort some stuff out. Now, we all, and anyone who's here on these tarot readings, like, we know that you've been doing a lot of healing work. We know you've been going deep within yourself. You've been elevating and transcending and working through things, but sometimes you just need to feel like whatever comes up and just let it be messy, like this big messy process. And with Mercury going going direct, he's going to be stationing direct on the 2nd, and then he'll enter into Libra on the 10th. So this week, Mercury's just moving really slow, and it's happening in an opposition against Neptune over in Pisces. So it's like making sense of and using logic regarding the emotion can be really challenging. So it just needs to be messy emotion. It just needs to be a little chaotic, but it's chaos for the sake of coming into order, coming into balance with Libra. You may even not really be that interested in communicating with people. It's like you have your dream idea, your dream goal, your dream life. You have this all here. And yes, a partnership is absolutely a part of that, but I also don't see you being willing to sit around and wait for it. Now, this will depend on your cultural influence. If you are in like the United States, obviously we have a different culture than like in the UK versus Australia, you know, so there's always different cultures here. But regardless of your cultural influences, it just seems like the priority of the goal is more than the priority of the relationship. It's because it's like, well, if I go after my goal, then I will be a lot more interested in bringing someone along on that journey if I know that I'm the one in control of making my dream happen. So I kind of see it as actually a week of empowerment more than it is anything else. It's a week of empowerment that is rooted in maybe some disappointment that manifestations haven't really come through. You know, one of the reasons why I always struggled with doing these love readings is because I really dislike the false hope that a lot of tarot readers bring people. You know, it's all, oh, your soulmate's coming, and that really bothers me because it's just feeding off of people's loneliness, you know. But sometimes you have to kind of look around at your life and you say, is this person here? And if the answer is no, it's not about getting upset about it. Now, you will have emotion about it, but it's not really about getting upset about it. It's more about continuing on with your life and finding things that truly bring you peace and joy and stability and increase your vibration as much as you possibly can. And finding joy in everything in life, not just the romantic aspects of it. So you are kind of needing to, it's like kind of like back burner it, to put it on the back burner a little bit. Put it on the back burner, and it's like give the manifestation a rest. I think the manifestation needs to breathe. Because if you're trying to manifest something and you're thinking about it every day and you're journaling about it every day and you're lighting candles every day and you're wearing the crystals and the jewelry and you're wearing the oils and you're doing this about every single day, it's like there's so much pressure on this manifestation. It's like a watched pot never boils type of thing, right? So it's like it just needs a break. So focusing on the more material aspects of your life, focusing on your own structure, your own balance, your own development, all those kinds of things, your own money, everything, that would be a really, really good strategy to invite in this. Now, this may be a while, 10 of coins, but like, it's like when you are on the track to build and have everything you want to build and have, time sort of seems irrelevant. But what you will attract will be like a one and only type of deal. That's what we're going for, isn't it? The one and only, the one person that we feel we truly could live till we're 100 years old with. That's what we're all in it for, so it's worth waiting for. And you might as well have that person and the great life instead of sitting around and waiting for that person so you can build the great life. Right? Okay, let's pull out some oracles. Sadness and isolation. I feel more isolation. Yeah, sadness may come up because Mercury is stationed opposite of Neptune. Neptune is a planet, right? He's also in Pisces, right? So there is that isolating quality, not to mention Mercury in Virgo is also, of course, Virgo is the hermit energy. So you just may be playing it solo this week, just kind of doing your own things. And I don't know how social you're going to want to be. Now, you may go do social things, but you might not be totally into it or not super excited about it. You may have a lot of excitement actually to come home and just kind of be yourself and be in your own world. Oh gosh, I can barely read this. It says, put a stop to anything that makes you feel less than the diva that you are. Well, that's a good card. I like that. Put a stop to anything that makes you feel less than the diva that you are. Definitely don't date people that don't make you feel good about being a diva. I don't know if diva is the right word. We could say queen or goddess, whatever you relate to there. But your awesomeness, your high value, maybe that's why you're just not interested. It's like, it's hard to find people that see that in you, because it's hard to find people that see that in themselves, right? So you do seem willing to wait. So, okay. All right, pile one. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2. You guys selected the Smokey Quartz. So let's go ahead here. Take a look. See what comes through. Okay. We have 8 of Cups reversed and the Devil. Okay. I don't know if you guys have watched the October readings that I did, but one of the big themes that I kept talking about over and over was that Libra season really is a time when we come into balance, and sometimes that can be a chaotic experience. That's not always an easy thing, because in order to establish order, there has to be disorder. So you are coming into an equilibrium place. But I'm kind of like, this kind of stresses me out a little bit. Now, I don't know that it's bad, but I think you are coming up against an aspect of yourself that is needing to bend, and it does not want to bend. It's an aspect of yourself that has been ingrained, and you've lived according to certain rules. You've played by a certain game for so long that it almost became so natural to you, you didn't even realize it was going on. And now, because you guys, when Pluto comes into Aquarius, it is like a whole new life for us. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, because it's a very slow transit. It comes into Aquarius, back into Capricorn, then back into Aquarius over the course of like a year. We still have like a year and a half. So over the course of the next 2 years, You are going to become an entirely different person. And the astrology is slowly breadcrumbing you toward who that person is going to become, or who you are becoming, rather. Who that person is. If I could talk. I love Mercury retrograde. It's so awesome. And so in order for you to get to that next breadcrumb, the universe is asking you to do some stuff that you didn't know was really on the docket, right? And it's asking you to go deep and to be really, really, really honest. Like some of you I know have been single for a very long time. Others of you may be more recently single. But I feel that there have been certain excuses, is what I'm hearing, certain justifications, certain rationalizations in terms of maybe why you haven't wanted to go out and be social, or why you haven't wanted to put yourself out there, oh, I'm healing, oh, I'm wanting, and again, I know when we come into a sense of self-value and when we come into a sense of our own divinity, it is hard to connect, but it doesn't mean it's impossible, and it certainly doesn't mean there aren't people out there that are doing that very same thing. This is a global cultural phenomenon that's happening. Like the world is growing in consciousness, which means many, many, many people are evolving. Many, many people are healing. You're not alone, in other words. Okay, you're not alone. And maybe you've had some kind of a view where bonding with someone, it's like a teeter-totter. Like one thing you really want that amazing connection and that love and that intimacy and that support and that emotional security. Like I know you really want that. But I feel with that devil card that still maybe a relationship to a degree feels like a chain around your neck. And maybe that has been because past relationships have felt like a chain around your neck, right? Because these two, Adam and Eve, right? We got them with a chain around their necks tethered to the devil here. And maybe there's a fear that you're going to repeat something. There's a fear that you're going to have to go through it again. And as optimistic as you want to be, as open-hearted and open-minded and willing and believing as you want to be, there may be a part of you that says you may be in for another go-around. And I think that's really scary because clearly you've been through stuff. Clearly there's been, I don't know, was it emotional abuse? Was it physical? Was it sexual abuse? Was it a narcissistic codependent situation? Was it a relationship where you completely lost yourself? Was it a relationship where you had the highest hopes and then got crushed? Like, what was it? Because that's surfacing for you right now. But it's surfacing because this is what is throwing you out of balance. This is what is throwing your scales completely off kilter. But the Queen of Coins is always so willing and always so ready to invest. And she has a lot of faith. And I think having faith in this process is so important. And being around people that make you laugh and make you feel good is also so important. And while I don't know that this is going to be the week that you find the one, okay, I don't know that this is going to be that week, but I do think there is someone trying to show up in your life energetically. There's a magnetic pull coming in, but I think the reversal here is because there needs to be a delay on this, because this needs to be addressed. Because if this person comes in, you may immediately identify them as something similar that you went through in the past, which wouldn't be true. And you may turn your back on something that could actually be one of the greatest relationships you've ever had. Someone that absolutely adores you, absolutely respects you, all the things, all because this was still looming in the background. Now, the thing about Libra season is it demands truth from all sides. It demands truth from your conscious mind. So when we say, oh, speak your truth, right, that's from your conscious mind. But it also demands truth from the subconscious as well. Nothing can be hidden right now. I feel like the sun illuminates both worlds here in Libra. So it's just a matter of processing and dealing and allowing it to occur without repressing, without pushing it down. You know, Mercury against Neptune like this, it can be a weirdly emotional time, and you may have random emotions surface some random time period of the day. Like, where the heck did that come from? It's probably coming from this. You know, like maybe you're at a coffee shop and you see someone really attractive coming in, and maybe your mind immediately goes to, oh, he's probably like an F-boy, right? If your mind immediately goes to a place like that, that's your devil creeping up, right? If you immediately cast someone as something because of the pain that you have experienced, there's still work to do. Now, I'm not saying you can't find love in this place. You can find love. I'm not saying that even if you did, it would be terrible. That's not true. A lot of people, you don't have to be completely healed to find love. That's not even close to what I'm trying to say, okay? But I do think you may not see it if you don't deal with this, okay? All right, let's take a look at some of the oracles. I think for the singles, weirdly as it may seem, Libra season is a really good time to just collect themselves. It's going to be more for partnered people to work things out. So if they're working things out within their partnerships, I think you should be working things out within yourself. See, detach. See exactly you're detaching from that which you were attached to, that which kept you bonded and has kept you tethered for quite some time. Saturn in Aquarius has been helping us with this to an enormous degree. It's been helping us find freedom from the past. And it's a slow evolutionary process. It's not like, oh, Saturn comes into Aquarius one day and then all of a sudden, oh, we're healed and it's all done. It's a very slow kind of motion. Put on some music and dance. Okay. We know that dance is actually one of the most healing things. It like shakes off the karma almost. I know Osho is a highly controversial person. I personally love his teachings. I think a lot of you do as well. But one of his speeches that's circulating somewhere on YouTube, he does talk about the power of dance. Also, I think in his book, his Tantra book, he talks about the power of dance in eliminating karma and freeing yourself, because it's like generating that much energy, generating that much motion. I mean, that's one of the reasons why motion and physical movement is so crucial for our physical health. Because when we move our bodies, when we sweat, we eliminate emotional attachments. I'm being a little oversimplified there, but you get the idea. So maybe this is a good time to just focus on physical movement right now and allow that detachment to happen naturally and organically. There's not a lot you need to do, I don't think. This is not about like going to work on yourself and making yourself perfect. This is just about feeling the stuff. Okay, so just allow yourself to feel. All right? Pile 2, I love you. Have an amazing week. All right? Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your singles reading. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, you guys selected the Amethyst. Forgot to say that. So let's take a look here. Well, we like the Lovers in a love reading. But I don't know that you are the most romantically focused. I'm actually not really getting that from any of the singles piles. Now, it doesn't mean you don't want that in your life. It just kind of means that right now you're more focused on your own ventures, your own endeavors. You may be aligning with someone with very similar interest right now. You may be aligning with people who are also building and doing and creating and designing all sorts of incredible things in the way that you are also doing. Now, I feel like you are kind of coming out of your shell. Now, maybe you've been in hermit mode for a while, and I don't just mean only through Virgo season, but maybe there has been stuff going on in the privacy of your life, and now you're ready to really share it. And I look at this King of Wands, and I think you are ready to share. You're ready to show up confidently, feeling strong, feeling good, feeling deserving, feeling like you are truly ready to really be something and to be someone in your field, in your industry, in your space, in your communities. You're wanting to contribute. I feel like we know that the lizard here, which is on not only on his throne, but on his robe as well. There's a circular wizard. And it's very important that the head of the lizard and the tail of the lizard are actually touching, because it creates that full circle. And that full circle indicates completion. So I sense that you are in this complete space. You feel complete inside. To a degree anyway. It doesn't mean like your life is perfect, but you as a person, I feel like you've come full circle with something. Now, I also sense caution, 4 of Coins. You're being more cautious romantically, and with the Empress reverse, I worry about availability, now I don't know that this is your availability. I think this may be the availability of the Empress, whoever that may represent for you, the person that you're meant to be with, or that you would want to be with right now anyway. The availability of the Empress isn't quite there. I feel like there's something stuck here. It's likely that the person that you're attracting into your life is going through their own self-esteem growth. It's going through their own feelings of deservedness, and they may be keeping themselves on the shelves right now. They're not really wanting to come out and socialize. They're not wanting to, it's actually reminiscent. It's like you're kind of building, designing, creating, doing all these great things, but you're kind of coming out of it, out of the darkness. I always kind of like look at the dark in the black here. You're kind of coming out of the darkness, but I think this person is still in the shadows, kind of still designing and building and creating and stuff, but they're not ready to fully come out yet. They're not ready to fully show the world or be vulnerable in that way. I think they're in a little bit of a protective mode with that 4 of Coins, and they're just in this space of caution. Libra season is sometimes, not always, a cautious time. It can be highly risky though, because it is a cardinal sign, but it does have an element of caution with it. It's kind of opposite of Aries, which is like no caution at all, right? Just go after it. Libra is a little bit more mature, as the opposite of Aries. So it's also a lot more feminine because its rulership is Venus. But it is still a masculine air. So again, a balance of both there with Libra, of course. Now, the Lovers is a positive indication of a divine union of some kind, but it also is an indication of logistics, and specifically divine or higher intelligent logistics, meaning not anything you need to take care of, but there are important logistics that are being looked after in order to really bring the two of you together. This is really important for you right now, focusing on the more creative spaces in your life, because it's stirring up something. It's stirring up some kind of an energy. Look, I know that this kind of stuff sounds silly. Like when you're watching a tarot reading, it all can sound so generic, and you're looking around and you're like, what is, I don't really see anything. No, you're not going to see anything happening. You're not even going to feel anything happening. You're not going to feel your life changing. You're not going to see your life changing. It just kind of changes, like moment to moment, second by second, decision by decision, right? And I think having faith in this process is really your only option here, because I don't know that you going out and trying to find the love of your life is going to be helpful at all, because the person, okay, the Empress, she's not out there. She's putting herself on the shelf for now. There's something she's got to work on. There's something she's got to deal with. I say she because but whoever, okay? There's something they have to find wholeness in. But when you do come together, it will feel like a divine union. It will feel not only magical in terms of passion and all that. I think you'll have that. But I also think it will be real. It will have real life compatibilities. You'll have real life types of visions. Things that you can actually sustain, because we know that heat and that passion, it's, it's fun and it's great, and of course enjoy it while you have it, but there's always more to it than just that in order for a relationship to sustain. But an Empress and a King of Wands can definitely bring that into each other's lives. So there's high levels of emotional intelligence on both sides. So it's like we can really enjoy each other, but we can also really build a life together too, which makes it more real. So I think that's what's going on. That's what's brewing. That's what is in the cards for you, literally in the cards for you. But I don't know that it will happen this week. It's going to depend on kind of when this person stops hiding themselves. But I think they'll stop eventually. They'll feel ready eventually. And when they do, it's likely that you will convene through maybe through work or some kind of community-based connection or professional or industry types of things. I often see this as like professional network, people within your professional network, most likely. Okay, let's pull out some oracles. Spread your wings. This is a great time for you to push your boundaries. It's kind of like engage in the thrill of life. Engage with your magic, if you will. Spread your wings. And I think it's time for you to just say, universe, I'm ready, but I'm not sitting around waiting. Okay? I'm ready, but I'm not sitting around waiting. I'm still making things happen. It feels like you've been here before. I feel like maybe there's a little something more to that lover's connection. We often, feel like we have past life connections with people, or something seems fated or destined, that kind of thing. Maybe that's what this type of connection will be. Feels like you've known each other a million years. Maybe it will have that level of comfort. Maybe that's why it will be so sustainable. Sometimes when the Lovers comes out, I get a little nervous because it can be a flash in the pan of passion. But I don't sense that with this Lovers. I do feel that there is something much deeper than that coming through. Okay? All right, Pile 3. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.